All right, let's do this. Welcome back to the GRE question of the day. This is Elliot, and today we're going to be taking a look at this word problem about percents. It's going to be super fun, so try to control your excitement while you pause the video, give this a read through, and if you feel confident enough to attack it, solve, check for the right answer, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and unpause me, and we'll walk through it together. All right, so the question says that a certain factory has replaced 20% of its machines and they plan to replace half of all the machines. So what percent of the machines that haven't been replaced yet must still be replaced? So let's make sure we're clear about what machines go into which group here so that we can ultimately set up to solve for the right answer correctly. Perhaps you can see there's not going to be a ton of steps of math going on in this question, but if we get asked what percent of something, we know that generally on test day, we're going to want to set that up using fractions. So we just want to make sure we get the right number in the numerator or the denominator. Probably there are trap wrong answers waiting if we misplace one of those pieces. So basically what we're saying right now is they've already replaced 20%. And I'm just going to call that 20. We can simplify here because what I would want you to recognize as you read through the first time is that everything in the whole question's in percents. The information given in the question and the answer choices, which means the actual number of machines doesn't really matter to us. We can just think of there being 100 representing 100%. So 20 of those machines have already been replaced. We know that the factory plans to replace half of all its machines. In other words, from 20, we want to get up to 50. So how many need to be replaced still? Well, we know that's going to be simple arithmetic, another 30. We agree about that? Cool. So then we'll make sure we're keyed in on what the question's asking. What percent of the machines, not in total it says, but what percent of the machines that have not been replaced must still be replaced? So we know it's 30 more machines to be replaced. How many have not been replaced yet? Well, if there are 100 total and we've replaced 20, you'll agree with me that means there are 80 which are not replaced. And now we basically have what we need for the fraction that makes up the right answer. So of the machines that have not been replaced, in other words, 80 that haven't been replaced is now the total that we're concerned with. That's the denominator. That's what'll go on the bottom of our fraction. How many more must still be replaced? That's the 30 more to get us up to 50%. So the question's asking us to set up 30 over 80, and they want to know that in terms of a percent. So we'll cancel here and say this is actually 3/8. If you're a good memorizer, then I would say knowing that 1/8 is 0.125 and multiplying by 3 to get the answer here is probably the way to go. But otherwise, what we definitely all know is a 1/4 would be 25%, and an eighth is half of 1/4. So if we cut 25 in half, we'd have 12.5. So if we cut 1/4 or 0.25 in half, we'd have 0.125. Okay. So one way or the other, you got to be able to get to 0.125 as 1/8. We multiply that by 3, we're going to get to 0.375. Okay. That's what we have here. And 37.5%. Once we convert back, we know we go from decimals to percents by multiplying by 100 or moving that decimal place 2 spots to the right. So this is 37.5%. And answer choice D is correct. How'd that go? Pretty well, I hope. If you still have some questions or you need some more help getting ready for the GRE, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm at Herson Test Prep on Instagram. We'll be back here tomorrow for another GRE question of the day. And in the meantime, happy studying.